From cosmic realms to haunted cabins, from superpowered cities to twisted fairy tales, this is where original comic book stories come alive. Dive into bold heroes, dark secrets, and unforgettable worlds with each video. Welcome to Short Story Universe Audio. Subscribe now and become part of this all-new comic book universe. To fully enjoy this video, please ensure CC closed captions, aka subtitles, is turned on. Thanks for clicking on my video. Please enjoy the two AI podcasters conjured by Notebook LM. Their deep dive into this video is totally amazing. So grab a snack, sit back, and enjoy Superman Movie 2025, My Likes and Dislikes My Fan Edit.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we really dig into sources to pull out those key nuggets of knowledge for you. Today we're doing a deep dive into the big one, James Gunn's Superman 2025. But this is the interesting part. We're looking at it through a specific fan's eyes. It's a really detailed review and, well, a complete reimagining from a creator called Vandale over at the Short Story Universe. So we're going to explore what this particular fan loved, what really didn't work for them, and fascinatingly, how they think a massive blockbuster like this could be improved. Gives you a real window into, audience hopes and the whole creative back and forth.
Yeah, and what's so interesting, I think, is how one single review, when it's this detailed, can give you such specific feedback. It's not just about the movie itself, but it tells you a lot about what fans, or at least this fan, expects from characters they love, from these big cinematic universes. So we'll be focusing on the main takeaways, and the thinking behind the opinions.
Okay, great. So let's start with the good stuff. Because despite some pretty pointed criticisms later on, the final score was actually an 8 out of 10, so clearly something landed well. What did this fan really like?
Well, the review definitely highlighted a few things. First off, the action. It was praised for being fast-paced, lots of energy, and having that kind of comic book feel to the fight choreography.
Right, the spectacle.
Yeah.
And what about something practical, like the runtime? We hear complaints about that all the time.
Exactly. That was a plus here. It came in just over 2 hours. The reviewer felt that was really, tight, efficient, kept things moving, kept them engaged.
Okay, efficient pacing, good action.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned characters before. That seems to be where things got really interesting for this reviewer.
Definitely. The main two, Clark and Lois, were apparently a big success. There was this specific scene mentioned, a breakfast date night,
Okay.
which then kind of spontaneously turns into a Superman interview. That scene was called out as hands down one of the best in the whole movie. It really captured their dynamic.
Nice. So the core relationship worked. Any other characters stand out, for better or worse?
Yes, surprisingly, Mr. Terrific. He was called the coolest character on screen.
Wow, okay.
And this actually led the fan to propose something pretty thought-provoking. They suggested maybe James Gunn could have started the whole DCU with someone like Mr. Terrific.
Instead of Superman.
Yeah, build up slowly, have Superman maybe pop in and out of these smaller, more character-focused films first. Let the audience kind of get to know him gradually, so that when his big solo movie arrives, it feels really earned because people already know him, already see him as that symbol. It's a different approach, definitely more patient.
Build the world around him first. Okay, so those are the highlights. Fast pace, good core relationship, standout supporting character, interesting ideas on universe building. Now let's get into the dislikes. And you mentioned this is where the review gets quite detailed.
Right, the biggest thing right off the bat seems to have been the time period. It was confusing. According to the review, the characters look like they stepped out of the late 70s or early 80s, fashion-wise.
Okay, like a retro vibe.
Sort of, but then you had modern tech everywhere, modern computers at the Daily Planet, sleek flat screens all over Metropolis, and this clash, this stylistic choice, apparently made the characters feel, and this is a quote, stripped of agency. Even the background extras just looked like stock footage pulled from a retro Shutterstock archive.
So the aesthetic didn't quite work, felt inconsistent.
That seems to be the gist. It created a disconnect.
And these kinds of specific points, the look, the feel, they seem to feed into a larger idea the fan has about adapting these characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was their core philosophy?
Yeah, it really brings up that whole debate. How faithful do you need to be? How much can you change? And this reviewer's stance was crystal clear. Don't subtract, add.
Add, not subtract. Okay.
They believe you should enhance these characters, build on the Superman mythos, not, deconstruct it or constantly try to flip expectations on their head. The point they made was audiences don't really want broken or outdated comic book characters. They want them improved, maybe modernized, but still recognizable, still aspirational.
That philosophy then leads into some very specific ideas about how the character should look and act. Let's take Lois Lane. How did the fan picture her?
Oh yeah, very specific. They see Lois as an icon, someone who turns heads and headlines.
Yeah.
The vision was like super detailed. Crisp white blazer, silky pink blouse, white skirt, even matching white and pink high heels and nails.
Wow, very high fashion.
Totally. And at her desk, which is futuristic, no keyboard. She's just talking to her AI agent, designer white purse sitting there. It's a very glamorous, very powerful, very modern image.
Okay, so a high-powered, iconic Lois. What about Clark Kent? Did the classic clumsy reporter routine work for them?
Nope. That was a definite thumbs down. The fan felt clumsy Clark is just, outdated. They actually argued for sexy Clark.
Sexy Clark.
Yeah, the idea being that to attract the big summer blockbuster audience, you need that kind of energy. Clark needs to be, quote, a super great guy to be with this Lois Lane. And summer movies, they argued, need hot energy. Hot leads, summer vibes, beautiful people doing beautiful things. They even listed things like bikini parties, charity galas, gym workouts, rooftop events.
So less mild-mannered reporter, more aspirational lifestyle influencer who happens to be Superman.
Kind of, yeah. It's definitely leaning into the glamour and idealized aspect.
Okay, interesting. And the fan didn't stop there, right?
Yeah.
Even Krypto, Superman's dog, came in for criticism.
Absolutely. Krypto was another dislike. The issue was he wasn't portrayed as a smart dog, not that loyal companion with intelligence you might expect from the comic. Just a wild, destructive dog. And the reviewers saw this as a real missed opportunity. They wanted a sophisticated super dog, one that could maybe communicate, understand things, show emotional intelligence, something they thought younger audiences especially would love. It wasn't just about the pet, it was about adding that layer of unique Kryptonian connection.
Right, using every element. What about the Kents? Clark's parents, usually seen as the moral bedrock.
They felt the Kents also came across as outdated and one-note.
How so?
The fan wanted them older, definitely wise, but still vibrant and active, like true pillars of Smallville, not just passive background figures. They even said, look, if these traits aren't in the comics right now, add them. These are the people who raised Superman. They should feel substantial, full of life.
So again, elevate the supporting characters, make them feel as vital as the hero.
Exactly. And this even extended to their home. The Kent farm itself was apparently an issue.
The farm? What was wrong with the farm?
It looked like it was falling apart, and the fan just found that illogical. Their point was, this is Superman's home. Clark Kent, the guy who can bend steel, he couldn't fix up the barn, remodel the kitchen, mow the lawn super fast, paint the house on his lunch break.
Good point.
Yeah, the reviewer stressed, it's Superman, people. The Kents should look like they're thriving thanks to their super son, not like they're struggling through the Dust Bowl or something. Again, it ties back to consistency and that aspirational quality.
Okay. Outdated parents, dilapidated farm, destructive dog. Anything else? You mentioned Supergirl.
Yes, that was the final and apparently one of the biggest dislikes. Her introduction.
What happened there?
She's introduced at the Fortress of Solitude and she swears.
Why?
And the reviewer found that really jarring, especially for a movie being marketed as a big family-friendly Superman film. It felt out of place, tonally inconsistent with the brand maybe. Her summary of the dislikes was pretty blunt. Bad dog, bad farm, bad Supergirl, and outdated-looking parents.
Wow. Okay, so a lot of dissatisfaction with characterization, world-building consistency, and tone. But they didn't just complain. You said they offered a fan edit, like their own version of the ending.
That's right. They didn't just tear it down, they built something up. They reimagined the whole finale of Gunn's Superman 2025.
How did their version go?
Well, it starts with an absolutely epic final battle, huge scale. On the hero side, you've got Superman, of course, Supergirl,
Okay.
the Fortress of Solitude robots, Krypto the Superdog, presumably the smart version,
Right.
and a group called the Justice Gang. specifically naming Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific making another appearance, and Metamorpho.
Whoa, that's a big team up for a first Superman movie.
Exactly. It signals a desire for that big, interconnected DC universe feel right away.
And who are they fighting against in this fan finale?
The villains are pretty heavy-hitting too. Lex Luthor, but inside his big battle suit.
Classic.
Plus his army of drones called Lex's Raptures. And then pulling in some perhaps slightly more obscure but powerful villains, Ultraman and the Engineer.
Okay, so a massive hero lineup versus a powerful villain squad. Sounds epic. But you mentioned a twist. This is where it gets really interesting, you said.
Oh yeah, this is the big swing. The massive twist in this fan edit ending is Lois Lane reveals herself as Superwoman.
What? Lois gets powers?
Yep. The idea is there'd be hints earlier, buzz about some mysterious Kryptonian flying around Metropolis, which Clark maybe dismisses as a rumor, but it was actually Lois.
How does she get him?
According to the fan edit, during a visit to the Fortress of Solitude with Clark while he's distracted, Lois somehow accidentally undergoes a transformation, gets power.
And Clark doesn't know.
Nope. Superman is totally unaware. Lois keeps it a secret as she starts training behind the scenes, maybe with that Justice Gang we mentioned.
Okay, building the suspense.
Right. So then, in the final battle, just when it looks like Superman might actually lose, might fall, bam! Lois Lane flies in.
No way.
Fully revealed, fully decked out as Superwoman is how the review puts it. She arrives and completely turns the tide of the battle.
Wow. That is a choice.
A huge choice. The reviewer imagined the audience reaction, people losing their minds, cheering, applauding. They declared that would make it an instant Superman classic. It's definitely aiming for maximum shock value and audience payoff.
That's certainly one way to add, not subtract. A Superwoman reveal.
Okay, well, that was a really fascinating deep dive into one very passionate fan's perspective on Superman 2025. And it's worth remembering, despite all those specific dislikes and that pretty radical reimagining, they still gave the movie an 8 out of 10 overall. So there's clearly still a lot there that they enjoyed or appreciated.
Absolutely. And this whole review, this deep dive, it really does make you think about how audiences connect with these iconic characters, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It shows you not just what they like, but the strong emotional investment they have, the specific ways they want to see these characters interpreted, the archetypes, the narrative beats they value.
So wrapping this up, thinking about this fan's detailed critique and their reimagining, what's the bigger question this leaves us with? What's the key takeaway maybe for creators listening? Well, I think it drills down to a fundamental tension, especially now with so many franchises and reboots. How much weight do you give fan expectations? You know, how much do you lean into those pre-existing ideas about who a character is versus trying something completely new, maybe even subversive? Where's the sweet spot? Where does that balance lie? If you want to create something that feels both fresh and resonant, something truly impactful in today's world. It's a tough needle to thread.
Definitely something for you to think about next time you're watching one of these big franchise films.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment below and let me know if you've seen the new Superman movie. If so, what were your likes and dislikes? Can't wait to read your fantastic comments in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an upload and tap that bell notification to keep up to date with this channel. Want to support and help bring more stories to life? The PayPal link is down in the description and on my channel's homepage. Every contribution helps build this original comic book universe into something legendary. And of course, share this video with fellow comic readers. This is Short Story Universe Audio. Thanks for watching.